I'm humbled by that. Viewers, thank you so much for watching us. I pray that we all take it upon ourselves to be the change that we would like to see, because at the end of the day, it begins with us.
In your entire life, who is that teacher whom you would say that this is the teacher who touched my life? Their name, the class, and what is that thing that they did in your life?
My very outstanding teacher, unfortunately, is late. And it is surprising because this teacher was my early years teacher. I was just a nursery student. It's called a pupil. A pupil. I cannot pronounce that word so well. But this teacher was called Teacher Mabel. May her soul rest in peace. I was just around 4 or 5 years old. I remember so well. I'm a twin. I had my twin sister, and she was demoted to a lower class. And then I went and cried to Teacher Mabel. I was like, "Teacher, they've taken my twin back." What? She told me, "Do you believe in your sister?" I was like, "Yes, I do. She can perform." Imagine taking a child from top class back to baby class that they cannot perform at that age. So I cried, and then I told her, "I believe she can perform." And then she was like, "Now you go get her." I went back to baby class. I picked up my sister, and then she was like, "I am going to fight for you." And then she stood by the door, and when the head teacher came, she was like, "I am not letting Babidia go because Nakato said that Babidia can perform. I am not going to let her go. So I'm going to just hold on her sister's hope." And she didn't. She made sure we continue school, and as we speak, my sister has 2 degrees and she's still going. The one that didn't, yes. She likes learning more than even I, who was an A student, who fought for her. So I feel like I said before, let's not be quick to judge these learners. For every individual, that bulb goes off different times. It's not always at the same time. So if I have a child and you're telling me you're going to demote this child because they're not scoring a 90, it breaks my heart. If you get a child and you tell me they're repeating class because they're getting 20s, it doesn't make sense. For my sister, it clicked when she was in senior 3. And when it did, it didn't stop. So are you going to be that teacher that supports this learner, or that breaks this learner? Look around, Teacher Peter. In Uganda, to hear somebody that says, "I'm going back for masters." Do you know why? These kids get frustrated about learning as early as that. And to them, learning becomes a punishment. And then they don't pick the interest for learning. They don't even know why they're learning. They absolutely hate it. Look at our youth. We have the largest, our population, 80% of it is the youth, but still registers the highest number of uneducated ones. And even if they do, we have a lot of dropouts. Even the graduates don't even want to get any better. They don't want to upgrade. They don't even like the jobs, the careers they took. I've met a lot of them saying, "Certificate yalia mama." Oh my God. Education is expensive in Uganda.
Sure?
Whoa.
Sure?
Yes, it is.
And what makes it expensive? Firstly, before answering after answering what makes it expensive according to your own words, kindly also give us the picture of the ideal teacher that Alice would like to see.
Apart from this, the school fees that is up there, and then we have all these things of requirements every term, and then you have a school van, and then you have the uniform, and my God, everything is money, 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 money. Anywho,
They are also boys using money. They don't get them free of charge.
Teacher Peter, that topic is huge. Let's just talk about my ideal teacher. I love that. Who do I call a teacher? My ideal teacher is the teacher that comes in class every day with a positive attitude. Is a teacher that leaves their burdens on the gate and enter with energy and ready to impact lives. Is a teacher that has a high level of self-control and calm around them to create that safe environment for the learners. Is a teacher that is able to look through every learner to understand their uniqueness, their individual learning uniqueness. Does that make sense? Like, I do not expect every child to get an A, but I expect every child to understand the concept. And I'm going to make sure I do that. I am not going to judge my students depending on their positions. Oh, number 1. Oh, number 2. I absolutely detest positions in classes because we have failed to realize that even as adults, we don't learn things at the same pace. We might watch the news, NBS, all of us, and we pick out different content. The same content, yes. The same material. Does that make sense? So why would I, as a teacher, come and judge my children from a general setting?
Which is taught using one general setting, which is taught using one approach of the blackboard.
Exactly.
Which is again examined using one approach of the text.
That is so true. So I want a teacher who is well-rounded, knows the different kinds of teaching, ways of teaching the learners. So I want to see a teacher who is a critical thinker, who is not a helicopter teacher. Helicopter teacher is the one that is just quick to help out students in their situations. Helicopter. It's the same as parenting. Helicopter parenting. Like you don't allow your children to mess up. Oh, pick up that pencil. Oh, come on. I want to see less don'ts in classrooms. And more of we can. Let's don't do this. Don't. Oh my God, sergeant major teachers. And most of our teachers, I'm sorry guys, you are sergeant majors. It is, oh my God, do's and don'ts.
Command.
It is a command. That's not the kind of teacher I would like to see. I would like to see a teacher that tells me about my child's behavior in a positive way. I'd like a teacher who would tell me, we were struggling here and here. Today we had a difficult time settling in class. Is there anything that happened at home? Did she sleep well? Than me coming and tell me your child got 13 math. I don't care. There is more to my child than math, than all these marks, you know? And we know when my child gets out there in the world as an adult, their attitude will be more important than their marks. So I want to see a teacher that empowers my child emotionally, physically, socially, and academically. Not just academics. My ideal school, I would love to see a school that does not care so much about money, but a school that impacts learners' lives. Ever seen a child that has given a reference back to their school? Like, I remember when I was in Form 4, our teacher, let me give you an example of my HSC, senior 5, senior 6, I had never gotten a point of general paper, ever. I would perform and then fail general paper all the time. And then I remember my teacher.
For viewers, for information, general paper those were called free marks.
I would always fail general paper. And I remember my GP teacher called me and said, Sumaya, it frustrates me when I see you fail general paper all the time. Do you know what general paper is? I'm like, no. Because in my head, it was not history, it was not economics, it was not, And growing up, I had not been exposed to this kind of learning, like outside of these subjects. And then here is general paper that requires logic. And I didn't know. And he told me, do you know what general paper is? I was like, no, that was senior 6, third term. I was like, I don't know. I just get confused. He told me, general paper is just general knowledge. Nothing to do with the classroom. So when you read a question, just try to understand it in your general day-to-day life. How you can apply that in your day-to-day life. And guess what? I got my first GP point in my finals. So I want to see that teacher, and that is the school I want to see. Teachers that don't just teach the content in the syllabus, but teachers that mentor children for the future. As simple as that.
And you have been in your school whereby all the pupils we ask, when you ask them what would you like to become in life, they have what they call template professions. Lawyer, doctor, engineer, pilot. Those are the we call them template professions. Are we wrong?
No, we're not. But it is the mindset that we've created for. That is how we define success.
Template profession.
Yeah, and even it even comes back to us, the parents. When you're just in your sitting room asking your child what you want them to become in the future, at the back of your mind, you want them to say, I want to become a lawyer, I want to become a doctor, I want to become this. And you'll be hurt when your child tells you I want to be a farmer. Oh, I want to be a mother. You'll be like, oh, what is going on? And yet, that is the support system for the entire world. Like, a doctor cannot live without a farmer cannot live without a shamba boy, all of those things.
Yes, so according to you, Sumaya, I believe Uganda, some years down the road, Uganda was regarded as the best country when it comes to education. And you could find so many authors, orators, leaders, presidents, like Karen Levin, the one for Rwanda, and other presidents. They went through our education system. You would find that our university was regarded as the best on the African continent. And there's a lot of magic and great things that were happening in Uganda. Kenyans, Tanzanians, people from Rwanda, the Rwandese, the Sudanese could bring their pupils here to study, their children here. What went wrong?
I think we thought we arrived. It saddens me because I was reading about those authors, the presidents that Uganda has mentored, all the great leaders, all the great authors, and they were all through our system. And then I asked myself that question, like, what happened? What went wrong? But the simple answer is we refused to grow. I'll give you a simple example of this country next to us, Rwanda. Rwanda has looked at education differently. It has empowered the education system. It has empowered the teachers. It does not care. When COVID hit in Rwanda, the president said, do not cut off any teachers. He called that the school directors, gave them an interest-free loan to make sure that the teachers keep paid. Now that is a president that says what education system does to his country. The problem is, are we willing to take the step? The question is, are we willing to take the step? Are we going to wait for the government to make the changes? The directors of the schools are making a cry. I am literally screaming that you wake up. Because you are the ones that have the power to change this. If you present these changes to the Ministry of Education, they will just eat it up because they know you've made your research. But are you just going to sit back and keep teaching about Captain Lugard? Is that where the world is going? You find a child in primary 6 does not know even who an astronaut is.
The same child knows who discovered the source of River Nile.
I know, right? And he has died thousands of years ago. Are we going to keep at that? In every subject, it is history. When are we going to learn about the current affairs?
Ever since you left Rwanda, are you satisfied? Are you satisfied that now you're living your purpose? You give us some of your opinions, but at least have schools been welcoming? Are you truly disseminating what you wanted to disseminate?
Yes and no. Yes, I am happy I made the decision. And no, because I feel like I have not even started. Feeling satisfied at this point is, I don't even smell it. It's not even close by. But am I putting my foot down? Yes, I am. I'm getting rooted. I am not giving up. I am going to do as much as I can to see if I can make a difference. And I would like to thank you, Teacher Peter, for creating this platform. When I was feeling frustrated, I didn't know where to go. I was like, okay, the head teachers are not receptive of this. The society seems to be comfortable with what they are getting in the education system. Community is okay. What am I doing? I had started doubting myself until I started following you. And I was like, this could be something. My name is Sumaya Rukondo. I'm a mother and I'm a teacher. Super excited. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And the reason why she's seated here is not because she's just a teacher or a mother, but she made a very bold decision, and that's the purpose why we are here. She left Rwanda and came back to Uganda. True?
Yeah.
Very true and right. Yeah. And why would you, as a teacher who is working in Rwanda, earning a lot of money, why would you leave Rwanda and come back to Uganda? Because it's one thing that is not sinking in my mind. Why?
I was in Rwanda for a couple of years, and all those years I was a teacher. I started with Trinity International School, and then went to KICS, Kigali International Community School, and then I went to Discovery International School. My journey was an interesting journey. I learned so much, and I felt like all the years that I was there, I had gained enough experience. I had learned so much. Of course, I had to unlearn a lot to be able to learn new things, and I felt like it was time for me to come back and impact the lives of teachers in Uganda for my country, because I figured there was a lot of lacking in so many ways. And I felt like if we don't do it, the few that have gotten a chance to get this exposure out of our own country and then bring it back, if we cannot bring it back, then who will?
People understanding the objectives of the school. If I don't understand the objectives of the school, it is very easy for me to lose it along the way and not to be productive.
Yeah, that is so true. But you also need to be motivated as a teacher. You really have to be intentional about who you want to be as a teacher. Because I feel like if I am going to enter a classroom with this mindset of, after all, it's not my school, it's all going to be ruined. You've just strangled the lesson before you even started it. So why don't you? This is how I look at this profession. I look at it as an opportunity to mentor little minds, to mentor future doctors, to mentor future decision makers. So everything I do at this point either builds or destroys. So that is the mindset I would think a teacher should have. Don't think about your director. Like I told you, I'm not letting them off the leash. They have done absolutely so bad in that area. I'm sorry. Because for them, PD does not make sense. To most directors in Africa, professional development does not make sense to them. For as long as somebody has a degree from Makerere in education, has attended teacher training centers, they are good to go.
We have had a number of people complaining before. Yes, people say, when in our first studio, we were in a classroom, then people say, why don't you put your things in a corporate standard? Why don't you have this? Then I could tell them, kindly bring those corporate things. But they couldn't bring the corporate things.
No, the question is, Teacher Peter, what do we stand for? I mean, before somebody complains about your corporate setting or your not so professional setting, have they thought about what you stand for? No, they don't. If I am about impacting teachers' lives and learners' lives, why am I in the corporate world? Viewers, thank you so much for watching us. I pray that we all take it upon ourselves to be the change that we would like to see, because at the end of the day, it begins with us. Thank you.